The Syrian crisis, fall of Bashar al-Assad. Few points I need to mention here. World is not ready to accept dictatorships. In fact, from 1971 to 2024, the Assad's rule, his father, and from 2020 to 2024, Bashar al-Assad's rule is high-handed rule, and he actually suppressed all the human rights, abused the other opposition alliances, and also he almost ruled through decrees. In fact, whatever he gives, whatever he directs, that is the order and that is final. In spite of all opposition, you all know in Syria, the majority community are Sunnis. But this Bashar al-Assad and his family and relatives belong to Shia Alawite community. This community is a minority community in Syria. In spite of this minority rule, the people started agitating against Syrian government way back almost in 2011-12 during Arab Spring. You all know that there is a spring or a revolution that occurred in the Arab countries for democracy. Libya, Egypt, Tunisia, in all the countries. And many international experts assumed that in Syria also, people can topple this particular dictatorial government led by Bashar al-Assad. But Bashar al-Assad could continue this. Eventually, dictatorships will fall, and in 2012-13, slowly, there was a support from various governments to opposition parties in Bashar al-Assad government. Particularly, they all formed Syrian National Council as an opposition. All opposition parties in Syria, they have come together and formed Syrian National Council, and they demanded for democratic elections, but in vain. This all-white Shia community, to which Bashar al-Assad belonged to, constitute 12% of Syrian population. And I wish to tell you here, for Bashar al-Assad, earlier there is a strong support from Iran, Hezbollah and Russia. Now, Russia and Iran are busy in their own wars, busy in their own conflicts. So, they could not come up and help the Bashar al-Assad. It is assumed that almost 30 lakh people were killed in 10 years of fighting. And almost lakhs and lakhs of people left the Syria and they started settling down in other countries as refugees. Today, there is a free Syria. And Syrian refugees now are again entering into Syria. And with Bashar al-Assad seems to be in Moscow. He was in Moscow. He flew away from Syria. The thing is, yes, Turkey tacitly backed this revolutionary groups, HTS group in Syria. No doubt, Turkey tacitly. Turkey is not openly agreeing that it is backing the revolutionary groups, militant groups, but Turkey have actually backed it. But the thing is, my question is, can you expect democracy in Syria today? So, just we can say that the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham or HTS, the militant group or revolutionary group, could succeed in sending out Bashar al-Assad from Syria. But it is also a wing earlier in Al-Qaeda. It worked with Al-Qaeda. And will it allow democracy in a fruitful form in Syria? Can Syria see the light of democracy? Is a big question. And economy failed in Syria. Syria is facing severe inflation. And almost 6 million people left Syria as refugees from the last 10 to 15 years. And more importantly, in Syria, people don't have proper jobs. People don't have food to eat in most of the locations. So, in this condition, can you expect democracy coming back to Syria? So, the Syrian revolution, I can say, is half completed. Only Bashar al-Assad left the place. And you know, there's a trend that is coming up. If Sri Lankan president escapes, people enter into the president's palace. If Bangladesh prime minister escapes, people enter into the prime minister's palace. And now, 2 days back, Syrian citizens entered into Bashar al-Assad's palace residence and looted his furniture. To show their protest, they have looted his furniture. And people have come outside roads and they started shouting, "Free Syria," and they were in celebration mode. But to what extent people can enjoy these celebrations? This is my question. So, until and unless there's a regular democratic elections based on public consent or and proper democratic procedures are formed, we cannot expect that Syria is properly transformed into a democracy. This is my view on this entire episode, Fall of Bashar al-Assad in Syria.